ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡೋರಕ್ಕೆ
But actually, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೇರ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್.
ಅದು ಕೇವಲ ಶಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್
ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಗೋದು ಟ್ರಯಾಲ್.
2.5 ಲಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೂ ಅಧಿಕ ಭಾರತೀಯರು ತ್ರಯವನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. 93% ಜನ ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
tell me how to customize employee experience without adding IT complexity? Huh? Lenovo can transform my digital workplace experience with unified endpoint management and service desk.
Namaste and a very good morning to all of you. I extend a warm welcome to each one of you for the Student Inauguration Program Vihan 2023-24. On behalf of Dayananda Sagar Institutions, Dayananda Sagar Academy of Technology and Management, Bengaluru. Before we begin, I would like to give a brief introduction of our esteemed organization. DSATM is one of the premier institutions of the country. Managed under Mahatma Gandhi Vidyapitha Trust, was established in 1963 by late Sri R. Dayananda Sagar, the founder. The institutions are now being nurtured by Dr. B. Hemchandra Sagar, Chairman DSI, and Dr. B. Premchandra Sagar, Vice Chairman DSI, the two eminent sons of the founder. The Trust manages 28 educational institutions in the name of Dayananda Sagar Institutions, DSI, and multi-speciality hospitals in the name of Sagar Hospitals, Bangalore, India. DSI has various institutions under its umbrella, offering varied courses like undergraduate and postgraduate courses in various engineering streams, architecture, business administration, pharma, dental sciences, nursing, and offers programs leading to award of PhD in corresponding disciplines. The Premier Institute is now diversifying into state-of-art, world-class Dayananda Sagar University. The DSCE and DSATM are the two top institutions offering technical education, being affiliated to the Visvesvaraya Technological University, Belagavi, to the student community across the globe. DSATM was established in 2011 with 6 branches of engineering along with B Architecture and MBA programs. The college has its own unique position in the galaxy of eminent educational institutions in the country and has done yeoman service to the cause of engineering and management education. With this brief clipping about our institute, now let us have a look of a short video about our DSI. I request the technical team to please play the video.
Looking out, don't you see your future? Joining hands makes your journey easy. Sharing smiles makes your road so breezy. Looking out, don't you see your future? Starting out, breaking through you. Seize the day, make your way with the dream. Seize the time, seize the day, make your way, live the dream. Seize the time, seize the day, make your way, yes I.
Thank you very much. Beginning the inaugural session of this mega event, Vihan 2023-24, may I invite our esteemed dignitaries on the stage. I request our Principal Dr. M. Ravishankar, Vice Principal and Dean Dr. Sumitra Devi to escort our Chief Guest, Guest of Honor and Secretary Shri Gali Swami Sir onto the dais. Thank you very much. Respected dignitaries, Honorable Chief Guest Shri G. Kumar Nayak and Guest of Honor Shri Ramesh Srinivasa Raghavan, respected Chairman Dr. D. Hemchandra Sagar, Vice Chairman Dr. D. Premchandra Sagar, Secretary Shri Gali Swami Sir and Joint Secretaries of Dayananda Sagar Institution, Principal, Vice Principal, Dean, Heads of various departments, dear student and parents. Once again, a very wonderful morning to all of you. I am Dr. Nandini Padan Shetty, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Dayananda Sagar Academy of Technology and Management, Bangalore. It's a moment of great privilege and honor for me to extend a hearty welcome to all of you today on behalf of the management, Dayananda Sagar Institutions, Dayananda Sagar Academy of Technology and Management on the occasion of Student Inauguration Program, Vihan 2023-24. It's a one more beautiful morning in the campus with our new batch of students filled with new hopes, dreams, a lot of excitements and a lot of butterflies in their stomach, of course. Well, let me tell you all that you have come to a right place to start the most important and beautiful journey of your life. Dayananda Sagar Institution is like a spreading tree of knowledge for decades. It is with hopes and aspirations, dreams and ambition that you are on this campus this morning. So my dear students, tighten your laces for this new beginning. You are going to have a wonderful experience with a lot of learning and enjoyment in this campus. So before you begin your journey, it is important for you to know your college, departments, branches, faculties, facilities available, staffs and the campus as a whole. And therefore, today, you all are invited along with your parents to give a most memorable start to your engineering expedition in the name of Vihan 2023-24. At this moment, I would like to thank the parents who have made time from their busy schedule to attend this inauguration ceremony. Prayer works wonders. To start with, it's our culture to pray to the God Almighty. So let us begin this function seeking the blessings of God by an invocation song. I call Professor Vijayalakshmi Inamdar, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, for the invocation song. Shri Bhavani Mata, Shri Bhavani Mata, Shri Bhavani Mata. Jaya Jagadishwari Siri Saraswati, Jaya Jagadishwari Siri Saraswati, Jaya Durge Jaganmata, Jaya Durge Jaganmata, Shri Bhavani Mata. Shumbha Nishumbha Viharini, Shumbha Nishumbha Viharini, Viharini, Shumbha Nishumbha Viharini, Jaya Lakshmi Siridamini, Shivarani, Shri Bhavani Mata, Shri Bhavani Mata, Shri Bhavani Mata, Shri Bhavani Mata. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for creating a heavenly atmosphere. I now request our beloved principal, Dr. M. Ravishankar, to welcome our honored guests, students and parents to the commencement ceremony, Vihan.
Good morning to the distinguished dignitaries on the stage, off stage, invitees, staff, parents, and very importantly, the freshmen of class 23-24. A warm and blissful aura was witnessed in the campus with the presence of our chief guest, Shri G. Kumar Nayak, and the guest of honor, Mr. Ramesh, our secretary, sir, and staff, parents, and all the freshmen of class 2023-24. It's such a privilege for me to be in this august gathering and welcoming you all for the inauguration of first year undergraduate classes for the academic year 2023-24. It is an autonomous batch. We are autonomous from this academic year and an youngest institute to have that status, having received our NAC A+ and NBA, to have that autonomous status. I'm very proud to announce that So I thank our management also and all my heads of the department and all the stakeholders, the students and staff, for achieving this honors. This day marks the beginning of an incredible journey, a journey that will undoubtedly shape your future and transform your lives. As you step onto the campus, you become a part of rich academic excellence and innovation that has defined our institution for many years. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge that each of you and your parents has made a significant decision in selecting our institution, the Anand Sagar Academy of Technology and Management, for your professional career. You have demonstrated a commitment to pursuit of knowledge, a desire to push the boundaries of human achievement, and an eagerness to contribute to the betterment of society through engineering. For that, we commend you. You are about to embark on a path that will change you, inspire you, and ultimately prepare you for a world that is increasingly reliant on the skills and knowledge that engineers provide. Engineering is more than just equations is not more than just equations and calculations. It's about solving real-world problems. That is what we do when you have taken this professional career at this DSATM campus. We wanted to see that you solve real-world problems and meet the expectation of the industry. Throughout your journey, you will have the opportunity to engage with the world-class faculty members, work on cutting-edge research technologies, projects, and collaborate with peers from different backgrounds. The experience you gain, the friendship you form, and the knowledge you acquire will be invaluable. Remember, success in engineering is not just about mastering the technical aspects of the field, but about developing critical thinking skills, effective communication skills, teamwork, and a deep sense of responsibility. You'll be the creators of the future, and with the power that comes a great responsibility to uphold ethical and sustainable practices. Students, as you start this new chapter, the freshmen, I encourage you to embrace a very opportunity that comes your way. Get involved in clubs. We have different clubs, students clubs. We have we conduct a lot of extracurricular activities and the different clubs we have that align with your interest. So we have a mentorship program from our professors and senior students, and most importantly, don't be afraid to ask questions when you take classes when it is needed. We are here to support your growth and development every step of the way. Dayanand Sagar Academy of Technology and Management aims at achieving academic excellence through continuous improvement in all spheres of technical and management education. In pursuit of excellence, cutting-edge and contemporary skills are imparted to the utmost satisfaction of the students and the concerned stakeholders. The quality policy of the institute is true because of our management of DSI. Our beloved chairman, Dr. D. Hemchand Sagar, who has been instrumental in building and promoting educational institutions and has been taking a leader's role in serving the community by his innovative and forward-thinking vision. On behalf of the institute, it's my privilege to welcome our chairman, Dr. D. Hemchand Sagar, in his absence. Welcome you, sir. Our vice chairman, Dr. D. Premchand Sagar, who has been the inspiration behind the various achievements of Dayanand Sagar Group of Institutions and a dynamic team leader to lead the institutions to greater heights with a lot of difference. On behalf of the institute, it's my privilege to welcome our vice chairman, Dr. D. Premchand Sagar, in his absence. We welcome you, sir. We are great honored with the presence of our chief guest, Mr. G. Kumar Nayak, IAS Commissioner, BDA, Bangalore. On behalf of the institute, it's my privilege to welcome you, sir, with your busy schedule for this inauguration of first year inauguration program. On behalf of the institution, we welcome you to this inauguration program. We request you to please accept the bouquet. We are also honored with the presence of our guest of honor, Mr. Ramesh Srinivas Raghavan, a technical principal project manager, Adobe Connect. On behalf of the institute, it's my privilege to welcome you for the inauguration, sir. We welcome you, sir. We are honored with the presence of our Secretary of MGVP Trustee, Gali Swami. We call him Bhishma Pitamaha of the Institute, DSI, who has been our pillar of support for such programs. On behalf of the institution, it's my privilege to welcome you, sir, for this inauguration of first year. Also welcome the Joint Secretaries of MGVP Trust, Ms. Tintisha H. Sagar, Shri Rohan Prem Sagar, Ms. Natasha H. Sagar, Shri Nishan H. Sagar for the inauguration of first year undergraduate classes. On behalf of the institute, it's my privilege to welcome the Joint Secretaries for this inauguration in their absence. We welcome you, sir. I welcome all the heads of the department, teaching, non-teaching and administrative staff to the inauguration of first year undergraduate classes. I once again welcome the parents, very importantly the freshmen of class 2023-24 to this inauguration of first year classes, and also to the portal of Dayanand Sagar Academy of Technology and Management. In closing, I wanted to once again extend my warmest welcome to each and everyone present here. Your journey as undergraduate engineering students at DSATM begins today. And we are excited to witness the incredible achievements that lie ahead. Remember that your potential is limitless, and with dedication and perseverance, you can achieve anything. I wish you all a successful and fulfilling academic journey here at DSATM. Welcome aboard, and let's make this an unforgettable experience together. Thank you. May God be with you. Thank you very much. I wanted to introduce my heads of the department. I request all the heads of the department to please come on the stage so that I can introduce to the august gathering and to the dignitaries. I request all the heads of the department to please come on to the stage. I want to introduce Dr. Nandini C., Vice Principal and Professor and Head of Computer Science and Engineering Artificial Intelligence. Dr. Sumitra Devi, Dean Academics, Professor and Head Computer Science Data Science. Dr. Vishwanath, Professor and Head Civil Engineering. Dr. Mallikarjun, Head of Computer Science and Engineering for Electronics and Communication Engineering. Dr. Kavita, Professor and Head of Computer Science and Engineering. Dr. Sandhya, Professor and Head of Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. Dr. Shanmukh Sundar, Professor and Head of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Dr. Arun Vikas Singh, Professor and Head of Computer Science and Design. Dr. Rajinish, Professor and Head of Mechanical Engineering. Dr. Nandini Prasad, Professor and Head of Information Science and Engineering. Dr. Sahana Madan, Professor and Head of MBA. Dr. Shashikala, Professor and Head of CSE IoT Cybersecurity. Dr. Mamata, Professor and Head of Architecture. Dr. Manjula, Professor and Head of MCA. Dr. Nagraj, Professor and Head of Mathematics. Dr. Sunil Kumar, Professor and Head of Chemistry. Allamuttu, Professor and Head of Physics. Mr. Ramesh Babu, the Placement Officer. So this is our team who will be guiding you for the next 4 years. So you can connect your professors, know your professors in the department during this student induction program. Thank you, heads of the department, for your participation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I take this opportunity to welcome our principal, Dr. M. Ravishankar, sir. I welcome our vice principal, Dr. Nandini C. ma'am. I welcome our Dean Academics, Dr. Sumitra Devi ma'am. Thank you very much. Light is a symbol of brightness and prosperity. As sunlight expels the darkness of night, similarly, blessings bring in our life prosperity and happiness. To make this event a blessed one with the light of knowledge and wisdom, I request our esteemed guest, Principal, Vice Principal, and Dean to lighten the holy lamp. I request all the students to please raise for the lamp lighting. Thank you, everyone. On this wonderful occasion, we have two eminent personalities with us to address our students who are about to start another new chapter in their lives. Before we listen to them, let us know about our honored guest of today's event. I request Dr. Kavita, HOD CSC, to introduce our today's chief guest, Shri G. Kumar Nayak, sir.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, my dear colleagues and dear students, it's an honor to introduce the chief guest of the day for the gathering today. Today we have with us Mr. G. Kumar Nayak, IAS, Commissioner, BDA, Government of Karnataka. He is born and brought up in Bangalore and had his schooling in different parts of Karnataka. He studied in Sri Ramakrishna Vidyashala, Mysore and National College, Basavangudi, Bangalore. He graduated in civil engineering from University Vishweshwaraya College of Engineering, Bangalore. He joined the Karnataka cadre of the IAS in 1990. He served as Assistant Commissioner in Hunsuru Subdivision and Kumta Subdivision. He has played an active role in implementing total literacy campaign in Mysore and Uttara Kannada. Later, he served as MD of Karnataka Backward Classes Development Corporation, Joint Director of Food and Civil Supplies Department, and Joint Commissioner of Intelligence Wing of Commercial Taxes Department. He has served as the CEO of Jilla Parishad Belgaum for a period of 3 years from 1996 to 1999. His efforts in organizing rural poor into self-help groups as a base to launch development programs won lot of acclaim, and NABARD has recognized this as Belgaum model. Sri Shakti program of Government of Karnataka is modeled on these lines. Later, from 1999 to 2002, he has worked as the Deputy Commissioner and District Magistrate of Raichur District. During this period, he has handled problems associated with severe drought. The public library was constructed at a cost of approximately 1 crore in peaceful environs of a park after shifting it from a building in the marketplace. Today, perhaps this is the best library building in the state outside Bangalore. Similarly, a neglected town like Am Talab was removed with additional facilities to create the only place for relaxation and recreation in Raichur. A unique effort was undertaken to sensitize the political leaders regarding Human Development Index of Raichur, which resulted in coordinated effort to improve status of education infrastructure in the district. His tenure as the DC and DN of Mysore from 2002 to 2005 was equally eventful. Sensitive law and order issues like Kaveri water dispute, abduction of former minister by the dead bandit, and elections were handled admirably. His efforts to revive Dasra by introducing public-private partnership and concept of gold card have been widely recognized. Before taking over as the Commissioner for Tourism, he has worked as the MD of BESCOM Bangalore. Shri Kumar Naik presently is the Additional Chief Secretary, Energy Department, and concurrently posted as the Commissioner of Bangalore Development Authority, Government of Karnataka. Indeed, he is a true all-rounder and a true inspiration for all of us here. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and gracing the occasion in spite of your busy schedule. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for the brief about our chief guest. I now request Dr. Mallikarjun P.Y., HOD Department of ECE, to introduce the guest of honor of today's event, Sri Ramesh Srinivasa Raghavan, sir.
Dignitaries in the dais, of the dais, respected heads of all the department, dear colleagues of our institutions, DSC ATM, respected parents, and my dear students, and the facility and technical team. So greetings to each one of you present here. We all have been gathered here for today's Vihan 23. So for cheering up and making the young minds who are among with us today. Apart from this, it's a great pleasure for me to introduce today's guest of honor, Shri Ramesh Srinivasa Raghavan, so who has graciously accepted our invitations to join today's. Sir is a creative thinker with experience in a broad range of technologies and variety of roles over a career spanning 30 plus years. Worked on research projects and product development for the most part of his data management technologies, enterprise application architecture, information extraction, retrieval, knowledge-based computer systems, and Web 2.0 technologies. In his research focus on clickstream analytics, text mining, and social media marketing as a research scientist at Adobe Research India Labs. In earlier roles of his Adobe, he had full product ownerships of Adobe Captive Prime, Adobe Presenter Video Express, worked at Adobe Research Bangalore for about 2 years as a senior scientist. Led technical evangelist team for Adobe Flash platform, focusing on India ecosystem, designed and delivered several solutions involving a designer, repository, a runtime, and monitoring administrations to a system pattern. Experience in designing and driving cooperatives, innovation initiatives, people and programming management, technology, and marketing. Endowed with excellent written and oral communication skills, has delivered several talks at conferences and also lectures in academia. His beliefs: when we build a product, remember that we build a team, knowledge, and a value. Constraints aid creativity. Successful products not only solve the problems of their issues, but also delight them. Employees take care of customers who add revenue to the company paying employees. I am always a student, and teaching is one of the best way to learn. So key accomplishments of today's guest of honor, in his credits is having 5 patents, significant impact created in India as the first technical evangelist for Adobe Flash platform, keynote speaker, session chair at Adobe Tech Summit Max Kinnick Peak. As head of R&D, developed several solutions, accelerators, and frameworks, and also helped incubate several startups. The first architect of India's first coalitions loyalty platform, IMNIT, Design Product Engineering course taught first batch of MTech at SJCE, visiting scholar at Concordia University on UNDP fellowship while working at IIT Madras. As a consultant for Academy of Sanskrit Research, helped develop various applications around Sanskrit grammar. Academics, Sir has gold medalist in BE from Mysore University, 10th rank in Karnataka State PU exams, 12th rank in SLC in Karnataka, 95 percentile grade score that got him into MTech CS at IIT Bombay. Sir has completed over 50 courses in a single year on Coursera in diverse topic areas. Interests and pursuits of guest of honor: innovation management, product management and strategy, market research, artificial intelligence, knowledge-based systems, computational art, pattern recognition, machine learning, NLP and text mining, data mining, web analytics, startups, growth hacking, so first mile experience, computations analytics, social media marketing, digital marketing, API, app, content economy, social computing, crowd science, collaboration, proud and enthusiastic about Indian civilizations and traditions. Sir, we are honored by your presence on this occasion, sir. So on behalf of Dayanand Sagar Academy of Technology and Management, so-called DSC-ATM, and on my own behalf, I would like to thank and welcome to our guest of honor to today's function, sir. So satisfaction does not come through an achievement, it comes through effort. Full effort is full victory, as Mahatma Gandhi says. So with this, I would like to congratulate, I would like to all the best for the students for presenting here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for giving a brief introduction about the guest of honor of today's event. It's indeed a privilege that we have two such eminent personalities with us today on this August occasion. So, on behalf of the management, DSI, and Dayanand Sagar Academy of Technology and Management, we would like to present a token of respect and love to our esteemed guests. I request our Secretary, Shri Galiswamy sir, to felicitate our guests.
What secret?
Thank you, everyone. May I request all the students to please switch phones or keep it in the silent mode. Dear students, we are very well aware of your excitements about joining this college. But at the same time, you and your parents definitely may have some anxiety, some confusions, or some dilemmas in your mind about your life in this college. So just to make you fearless and comfortable, we have some final year B students with us who will be sharing their experiences at the SATM during their journey of engineering. May I call Ms. Shivani, student from 7th semester, Department of CSE, to share her experiences with you all at the SATM.
Thank you, Ma'am. So, a warm welcome to the bright and talented first-year engineering students who have embarked on this remarkable journey. So, I am a final-year engineering student. I'm Shivani Achanta from the Department of CSE, and it's an honor to share my experience with all of you present here. So, one of the first things that you'll notice in college as soon as you start your first day of class will be the faculty. So they may seem strict at times, but trust me, they are your strongest allies. So their dedication to their respective fields is unparalleled, and they're actually very willing to provide you help in all the aspects that you require help in. So don't hesitate to seek their help. They're here to ensure your success. Do make sure that you take the help of all the faculties who will be handling you. We also have proctor meetings, in fact, where our faculties interact with parents of students as well. So that is another part where they show how interested they are in all of you, as well as ensure each and every one of your success. So college life then is about academics, yes. A big chunk of college life is academics, but at the same time there's also a lot of fun and a lot of events that our college offers. In fact, we have Antaragni, our interdepartmental fest, and we have Esperanza, which is our college level fest. And yeah, definitely do try participating in all of these fests, because that is where the entire fun of college life is at. And not just the fest, to make all of these fests successful, we do have multiple cultural clubs who are dedicated to making it a huge success. So being a ex-club head myself of Kalakriti, the Art and Literature Club, I can definitely tell you how much work goes into it. So I would really urge all of you to join the clubs of your interest. Not just that, we also have our entrepreneurship development cells, we have our higher studies guidance cells, we also have placement cells. So do join all of these clubs and cells, areas of your interest where you would like to improve upon. The college has done an amazing job in providing help wherever and whenever required. So I must emphasize that academics, yes, they will get stressful, because that is a part of the complete package that we actually have here. But there's also fun along with those academics that you have here. So in conclusion, remember that these 4 years will actually be a roller coaster ride. And yes, there are ups and downs, but at the same time, it is about you, students, who will be facing all these ups and downs. Make sure to have fun along the way, and that's all I can say. I wish the very best to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivani, for sharing your thoughts and experiences at the SATM. I hope this might have given you a lot of positive vibes to start your journey at the SATM. Now, it's a most awaited moment for all of us to listen to our eminent guest. I request our chief guest, Shri G. Kumar Nayak, IAS Commissioner, BDA, to address our students.
Shri Galiswamy, Secretary of the MJVP Trust and the Chairman of the program. Shri Ramesh Srinivas Raghavan, the guest of honor with me for the function today. Dr. Ravi Shankar, the principal of the institution. Dr. Nandini, vice principal. Dr. Sumitra Devi, Dean of Academics. Heads of various faculties here. And dear friends, dear young friends, it's a great privilege and pleasure for me to be here with all of you today. I am left with nothing to speak about because already the principal, Dr. Ravi Shankar, has told you what to expect and what the future holds for you. And to top it, you have a senior student, senior friend of yours telling you her experience in the campus. Nothing much for me to tell. Yes, I will take opportunity to welcome you, most of you, to your dreams. I am sure you know how lucky all of you are and how you have been dreaming to climb this ladder of higher education. Having been in charge of higher education in Karnataka for almost 2.5, 3 years as Additional Chief Secretary, let me tell you, the figures don't look great as far as the states and the country are concerned as far as higher education is concerned. All of we are educated in the primary and secondary levels. But kindly be aware, if you look back and think about your friends who are there with you in the primary and secondary institutions, you look back and you don't find 2 of the 3 friends. You are getting what I'm saying? So only 1/3 is entering the portal of higher education institutions in this country. We have a target to take it to almost 40 to 50% in the coming years. But you are that lucky. Only 1/3 of your age group is entering the portals. And here, of course, every one of you will complete. But definitely, let me tell you, being a higher education and undergraduate in a technical course like this computer science, you are extremely lucky as far as the entire statistics are concerned. And do you know where you got to study? You got to study in a wonderful institution which was born almost 60 years ago. 1963 was the date of birth of this trust and the institution. Incidentally, it is my date of birth also, okay? So, incidentally, both of us are completing 60 years this year. So, you are in that kind of an institution which has got a huge experience in the field of education. Today, if Karnataka is known as a hub of education for engineering and medicine, whatever it is, that's because of preeminent socio-educational activities of our citizens, very, very active and committed citizens like Dr. Dayanand Sagar and his eminent children. When it all started almost 30 to 40 years back, when we were young, when the capitation schools colleges were started in Karnataka, all of us had a great debate. You may not even remember, you may not know that also. So whether to privatize the education or not, whether there should be a private entry in the technical education or not, that was a huge debate. Ultimately, who won, you know. There is private participation in education and there is a huge contribution of private sector for the growth of higher education in the country. Karnataka, if it is Bangalore, if it is today known as an educational hub, that's because of the wonderful contribution of institutions like Dayanand Sagar. Hearty congratulations to the management, the trustees, and the heads of faculty who have created this wonderful campus. What did you feel when you entered this place? I was floored. I am a Bangalorean. I know Bangalore has a wonderful weather, a lot of greenery. All that is given and it is internalized. I take it for granted. Still, when I entered this place, I was really very, very happy to be here. I'm told that most of you are from outside Bangalore. Some of you are from Bangalore, some of you are from other parts of Karnataka, and almost 25 to 30% of you are from different states of the country. Wonderful. My role befits me to welcome you, all of you. I am right now in charge of Bangalore Development Authority. So I extend a very, very warm welcome to you, all of you, to Bangalore. Bangalore is a wonderful city. Which is the capital of this country? Which is the IT capital of this country? Which is the education capital of this country? Which has got the best weather in the country? Which has the highest number of R&D research centers in the country? I can go on. Nobody, I mean, somebody in some corner of Europe or in Africa or in some other place, they may not know the names of other cities I don't want to name them because there will be a lot of competition. They may or may not recognize those names. But Bangalore, they will be Bangalore. Bangalore is a verb, you know that, no? Bangalore, what does it mean? Means you have lost your job to Bangalore. That is the kind of, the achievement of Bangalore in the last 15-20 years, and the contribution of institutions like this is huge. And you are entering that kind of a field where computer science, IT and things like that. I am a civil engineer myself. Of course, the technology has entered, computer applications have entered in every field of engineering. All my friends who are civil engineers, who are structural engineers, who have gone on to do something in the software also, and they are shining everywhere. I'm sure the head of the civil engineering department will agree. I am also uniquely positioned to tell you that it doesn't just stop with applications like Swiggy or something like that. Okay, the computer science is much more than all that, and the government is a great field where you can actually apply your knowledge. I am sure Professor Srinivas Raghavan will be definitely with me when I tell you that in the government we can go on applying these computers and IT so that for the benefit of the common man, so that we can deliver the public services in a far more efficient fashion. You must have heard of big fanfare where the entire set of farmers in the country was transferred, direct benefit transfer funds directly to their accounts. You must be aware of that. All this is the achievement of this technology, and innovatively combining all these things with the needs of the public. Which is the innovative capital of the country? Utter loudly, I want to hear. Bangalore, yeah. You have highest number of startups in the country. We are also startup capital, so to say. Every youngster who comes here and studies, not only does he just get a graduation, but he also gets dreams which are manifold, much larger than when she came to Bangalore. Okay, it's like this. This is the kind of atmosphere this city nurtures. Kindly soak in that. Your principal has already said all those things. I don't want to repeat. You have a huge opportunity. Don't miss out on that. You are a part of our dream. It is not just your dream. It is a part of our dream, because when we as elders or seniors or administrators or the political leaders think of what the country should be, we outsource all our dreams to you. So you should be the ones who will be working hard in the coming years and delivering that kind of a dream. When you are dreaming, you are also dreaming for us, dreaming for the country. I'm sure you realize that kind of, all of a sudden I don't want to make you feel very, very burdened or very serious on that. Be thoroughly, enjoy these moments, enjoy these 4 years, make wonderful friends. All of you have come from different places. I don't think anybody were classmates in their 12th standard. Nobody. None of you are classmates in 12th standard. All of you are new friends. So you have got so many new friends are there. So many different cultures. So many different parts of the country you have come together. This kind of a variety, this kind of a ability to work in a team is valued across the world. You imagine a Swedish can be a Swedish at best, whereas an Indian can be a Tamilian, can be an Andhra Pradesh guy, can be a Kannadiga, can be a Hindi guy, and he can be a roommate with all these guys and enjoy. So these things are there, which uniquely we Indians will carry at the end of our education. So that's why you will be valued, your talent will be valued. I'm sure all that depends on how you make use of this 4 years plus I was listening to them and I heard them, and I also have known about this, that the placements from these institutions are also very interesting and very good, which means that you will have to compete, jostle, and try to take this forward. Your institution offers placement services, but you will have to capture that and go forward. I wish all the very best for you in this journey which has started today. Lucky you are. You are in this wonderful institution, you are in this wonderful city, and you have got a choice course. You wanted perhaps this course. Even if you did not want, try to understand, and you will be very, very interested in this field, I am sure. This is kind of a, Chandrayaan, you should be aware of what's happening to you in your career. I am sure the best wishes and prayers of your parents will be with you. You should be extremely thankful for them for having given this opportunity. Many of them did not have that kind of an opportunity, and opportunity was not there. There were number of seats were limited. Today it is available to you. Today they have the wherewithal, their parents did not have. They have the wherewithal to make you a good, have you a wonderful educational experience. With all these things, with their blessings, I am sure you will start this journey which will take you to greater heights. Thank you very much for having invited me for this beautiful morning where I can have enjoyed the educational stint in my life. I love to be with you youngsters. I enjoyed every moment being with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for addressing our new students with such an enlightening talk and sharing your experiences at this campus for even such a short time. You made them feel more comfortable for joining this college. Thank you, sir. Now we have one more student, Mr. Manas from 7th Sem EEE department, to share his experiences at DSET.
Hello everyone, and very good morning to and all present here, respected dignitaries, principals sir, HODs, teachers, and all the freshmen and all the lovely parents accompanying them. Today, I, Manas Sen from Department of EEE, would like to share a few of my experience in this campus. And to be more honest, 3 years back when I was there, one of you, sitting there nervous and excited at the same time, worrying about all my engineering, subjects in my department. I've been there, so I understand your, butterfly in your tummies. So, after 2 years, I'm standing here with utmost confidence, thanks to my department and to my institute for providing various opportunities where I could boost my confidence and my skills. And talking about my institute, in fact, our institute, I guess Shivani has briefed you guys about the cultural events and how there are many clubs where you guys can involve and participate. So I would take the opportunity to explain more of technical part. You guys have many codeathons, hackathons, mechathons connected by various clubs of respective branches where you can, use their utmost knowledge. You have hands-on experience and learn many technical skills which will definitely help you in your placements. And just like Esperanza, we have a flagship event called as TechVantage, where you will have one-on-one sessions with many CEOs, industrialists, and you can have your ideas and ideologies where you can express your thoughts regarding the present industrial technologies over there. And coming to the other aspects, we also have many alumni meets where we have our seniors coming forward back to their college and explaining about the present industrial scenarios where the technology is used and the other aspects of the technology in the present scenario. They'll be guiding us and helping us out. And we will be also having many technical and industrial visits where you can correlate your textbook information with the at present industrial knowledge. And we will, coming to the placement, What's the most important thing for a final year? That's, yeah, for sure, placement. And fortunately, thanks to my department and the placement offices, I've been placed in a co-company called Schneider Electric. And we also have many events and programs to helping you out regarding the placement. We have CIL programs where they will be helping you out with your resumes, your group discussion, your interview. We will be also having many mock interviews where you will be utmost set for the actual interviews. You will be ready and set with the utmost, your skills, what are required for your placement and how you are going to be presenting them. And cherry on the cake, we also have an flagship program called as Super 30. You will be having more insights about that for sure. So Super 30 is somewhere like where top 30 students from the institute will be selected from various rounds. Like how they are progressing, how their required skills, how they are matching with that. So and they will be selected for the Super 30 round, where they will be more concentrated on getting 30 LPA plus. And any guesses about how much, LPA that, like highest package that we have received? Any guesses? Like just now I told you about the Super 30 module. Any guesses like how much the top placement amount we have got from this institute? Any guesses? Well, we are, immensely pleasure that we have received an 51 LPA placement from our institute itself in Microsoft. I really hope to see, many of you guys in that Super 30 module. Be there, enjoy your college life. Please take part in all the club events. Make sure you use the codeathons and hackathons happening in the college. And yeah, all the best and hoping to see you around the college. Thank you.
Thank you, Manas, for sharing your experiences during your journey at SATM. May I now request our guest of honor, Shri Ramesh Srinivasa Raghavan Sir, Principal Project Manager, ADOP Connect, to address the students.
Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha. Dignitaries on the stage and dignitaries off the stage, students, parents, and ladies and gentlemen. There is a reason why I wanted to start with Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha. One is because I'm a lover of Sanskrit. And this being a program which is about commencement, I was thinking, how should I start? And all of us start our Aksharabhyasa with A, and for all of us. So I thought to start with A. And then I said, let me make this talk be about A, B, C, D, E. So don't get worried. I'm not going to teach this like a nursery class, right? But I'm going to actually, you will find a theme as I talk about it. A is also for academics, and this is also the first year that this hallowed institution has got autonomy, which is also about A. So it's more than appropriate for me to use this as a theme. And I hope you will take some things from what I'm going to say as experiences of a person who has
traverse the same journey that you are all commencing right now. Very happy to be here and share my thoughts and experiences with all of you. So, when I think about this, my memory goes back to how I started my own career in engineering. So when I started, it was the second batch of computer science in Mysore. But when I graduated, when I passed my PUC second year, because I had got a rank, people had interviewed me and they said, "What do you want to do?" And then I said, "I'm going to do instrumentation and technology." Little did I know that within a year I would change. What I'm going to tell you is that we will always have different kinds of dreams when we start with it, but be open to ideas, because when you start experiencing things, you'll realize that there are more opportunities than what you might have earlier thought of. I'm not saying that you should give up on what you had in your mind earlier, but definitely be open and receptive to these things, because education is not only about learning something that you're interested, it is about accumulating experiences, and experience essentially means trying out things, learning new things, and figuring out whether that is something that you want to do. Maybe there are things that you would want to do for a long time, maybe there are things that you would want to do just for a little bit of time. This is the best time for you to be having that open mind, not just now, even when you later on get into your working career. I have seen a lot of people who think that they have to focus on one area. Focus is certainly important. But what we mean by focus there is, once you have signed up for doing something, focus on it fully and give it your best. That is what is focus. But focus does not mean that you shut your eyes and ears and everything and be averse to looking for other things that might come your way. So it is that kind of an attitude that essentially got me into looking at computer science. There was all this doubts in my mind, this is the second batch of computer science. Many of the faculty that taught us, they were also new to the subject. But it was an exciting thing that I could not leave, just go by. So I said I should take up computer science. I did change my stream to computer science by the time I came to the second year. So one of the things that I really wanted to talk about is, let me start with the fact about autonomy. What does autonomy mean? In some sense, some of you are also going to become a little bit more autonomous than what you probably were until you came to this institution, because like the previous speakers were saying, many of you have come from other parts of the country, and probably you have been in an atmosphere which is much more homely and things like that. So now you have the freedom to explore. You probably are away from home. You have got this freedom to explore a little bit more. In a sense, you're becoming autonomous. Nobody might be there to remind you that you have to do your assignments on time. Nobody might be there to wake you up early in the morning for that class, whatever. So what does autonomy essentially mean? Autonomy means that you have that freedom, but you can enjoy that freedom only when you're responsible and you're willing to take that responsibility to enjoy that freedom. If I have to switch to what autonomy means in the context of computer science, and some of you here might be even doing mechanical engineering maybe. Today it is the world of autonomous vehicles. Many of you would have heard about the kind of technology advances that are there. There are self-driven cars today, right? What are they? They are autonomous vehicles. What about drones that can actually, be autonomously, sent into other territories to capture information for you to help safeguard the country or for doing whatever kind of surveillance? There are even things like autonomous weapons that people are talking about today. While this is all sounding great and fantastic, it is important to remember that autonomy cannot be absolute. It has to come with responsibility. Imagine you have autonomous weapons, and if it is not responsibly engineered, if it is not responsibly used, it can be a disaster. So what I want you to take away from autonomy is that it is freedom, no doubt. You will learn a lot about what it takes to design such autonomous technologies. But you have to be ethical, you have to be responsible, you have to think about how will this be used by various people? Is it going to be safe? That's a very important consideration. Engineering is not only about creating something novel, it's about creating something that works and is safe for use in the way that it is meant to be used, right? And without having that kind of a grounding, it's very difficult for you to build products. So enjoy your autonomy, but be aware that with that comes some responsibility. Now, why did autonomy become such an important thing, and what has really caused this resurgence of thinking about autonomy in terms of technology? Another A term comes to my mind, and everybody knows what that is: artificial intelligence, right? Today, everybody talks about AI. I can see that there are even courses here. There are full-fledged programs in this institution about AI. I'm sure many of you who would be lucky to study this is the bleeding edge of technology today, right? So, when I just finished my master's degree in IIT Bombay and I joined IIT Madras, the lab that I joined was a lab called the Knowledge-Based Computer Systems Lab. We also had AI as an integral part of the kind of work that we would do there. What we would do as AI at that time is very different than what AI is today. So I just want to paint a little bit of history about what AI was then and how AI is today. So AI at that time was mostly, rule-based systems and knowledge-based systems. You would undertake an exercise of engineering knowledge from human beings, representing that knowledge in data structures and algorithms within the computers, and then the computer or the application would then help you to make decisions. Essentially, it would be things like, you would have a rule like, if there is smoke, there is fire. This is a very common thing that everybody knows, right? Wherever there is smoke, there is fire. You would make a rule like this. And then, you would represent this in some way, and then when you see a situation where there is smoke, then the system can infer that there could be a fire. This used to be the simple way. But this kind of system is very brittle because the system has been fed with the knowledge that humans have acquired over time, and it is limited to the knowledge that it has. But where are we with AI today? Today we are with AI where the system is learning by itself. The knowledge doesn't need to be engineered, right? The knowledge can be acquired by the system, and that's why we talk about machine learning and those kinds of algorithms. These algorithms are trained on actual data that is there, and then the algorithms can discover patterns, and you can think about it as the machines are learning those rules by themselves to be able to make those inferences or decisions. That's the kind of AI that we have today. Another difference that I can talk about between the AI of then and AI of now is, it goes back to knowledge acquisition mechanisms, right? Many of you who might be philosophically inclined would know that there are basically three kinds of knowledge acquisition mechanisms. In Indian logic systems, they are called Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shruti. Pratyaksha essentially means direct knowledge gaining by senses, whether it is by sight or smell or touch or hearing, right? It is perception. You can think about it as perception. You're getting the input directly. Anumana is about inference. An example that I gave you earlier was, where there is smoke, there is fire, or if there is smoke, there is fire, or when there is smoke, there is fire. So that is inference. And Shruti is about getting knowledge from trustworthy sources. You know that there is some trustworthy source that says such and such a thing exists, and because you have trust on that source, you would accept that knowledge. These are the three ways of knowledge acquisition. If you go back to that example that I was telling you earlier with expert systems, the knowledge was with the human being that was encoded as rules, inference rules into your application, and the system would do inferencing, right? That would do inferencing. the application was not doing things like Pratyaksha. The applications were not seeing. The applications were not hearing. But is that what we are doing today? Today, every one of us has a very, very powerful device in our own hands, which has eyes, ears, and everything. I'm talking about the cell phones. You have very powerful cameras in those things, right? Some of those phones are much more powerful than the first computer that I used today. And they have the ability to see things. They have the ability to get sound input. Now, the thing is, can you also take these inputs and then build models so that your application or the computer can then do things like object recognition, image recognition, all kinds of applications, or if music detection or language understanding. Plethora of applications have opened up of late, primarily because of these kinds of abilities that have happened in hardware. Things have become very cheap. And also because compute has become much more cheaper today than what it used to be before. Many of you would have heard about Moore's law. If you have not heard about Moore's law, you can probably get to know about it a little bit later. But basically, the cost of computation is so cheap today that, you can do unimaginable things that was not necessarily possible a few years ago or maybe a decade ago. So, due to the advent of such rapid advances in technology, you have, your cell phones and your computers are literally becoming intelligent in the sense that, they can sense the ambience, they can also make inferences. Now, the question is, how do you make this behave responsibly, right? Because everything that you see with Pratyaksha or everything that you do with this thing may not always be true. You might, for example, look at a rope in the dark and think it is a snake. That's a very famous example that is quoted in many of the logic, right? So you are bound to make some errors and inferences when you're doing things like this. But the point I'm trying to say here is that there is a lot of opportunity that has opened up because of the improvement in sensor technology, in computing technology, that makes it really possible for us to today build applications that have a wide range of uses for a wide range of people. Many times we think about building applications for the largest possible market. Think about this. If you look at the demographics of India today, the median age of India is something like 30 years or something like that. But that's not true in every society. For example, in Japan, the median age is much larger. There are more old people living there, right? So, depending upon what we see, which environment we are in, the ideas for applications will change as well. A person who lives in Bangalore would probably be able to understand what is a commute problem than somebody else in some other place. So, while it is important for us to learn all these technologies and other things, you also have to keep a mind, keep your eyes and ears open on what's going on around you and what are those opportunities, where are those problems that you can look for, which are worth solving, which can improve society, which can improve mankind, right? So, I think that all the people who are entering into academics now, you have a fantastic field, a wide green field in front of you. The opportunities are limitless. There's so much that you can do with technology today, and especially people who are, maybe I'm a little bit biased towards computing and AI, maybe talking a little bit more about it, but I think the application areas are across the domain. So talked about artificial intelligence, but before we came to this stage, when people started talking about computers initially, right, there used to be even strikes at some point in time where people used to say it's going to take away our jobs, right? Automation is going to take away my job. But we know that has not been the case if you look at it. Sure, there are certain kinds of professions or jobs that have kind of diminished in their progress or in their value because some things have become automated. But at the same time, there are a lot of new opportunities that have come about also, right? So I'm sure many of you would never have had an experience of trying to book a ticket in the railway station before IRCTC came, right? And it's a sea change today. all because of automation. So what I want to highlight here is that we didn't come to artificial intelligence all of a sudden. And there's a lot of hype sometimes around it, saying that, is this going to take away our jobs? Is it going to, are we going to lose things? Is this really worth doing things? I think time will tell, that's for sure. Some things will become less important, but some other new things will come. That's why I want to re-emphasize the fact that it's very important to keep your eyes and ears open and be not averse to accepting things that are there. Who knows, you might actually be going to do something that's going to be the next breakthrough. That's the way I look at it. So automation is also not going away. It has always been there, and it will continue to be there because we all want a lot of things automated. But everything that is automated need not necessarily be based on AI. So there is this thing that, if you have a hammer in your hand, you'll keep looking for a nail. So you don't necessarily need to think that every problem needs to be solved with AI. There are also simpler problems that can be solved with just traditional technology and automation, and even they are very valuable and important for society. And I think it's important to have that perspective because you have to try to learn the entire breadth here, because I'm sure many of you will go further beyond your undergraduate degrees into doing things which are masters and things like that. So let me talk a little bit about some more A's that come to my mind. You might be wondering, there is all these buzzwords that Ramesh has been talking about. Do I have the aptitude for all of these things, right? And that's usually one of the kinds of fears that everybody will have when you're starting something new, okay? There is a word that is almost sounding like aptitude, and that is more important more often than not than aptitude. Can you guess what that word is? Attitude, absolutely. So don't worry about whether you have the aptitude for something or not. You're here to learn. You have good teachers, you have your peers, you have your seniors to look up to, and if you have the attitude that I am willing to learn, I am willing to, be in a position of receiving things, right? You know that energy always flows from a higher potential to lower potential. So accept that there are things that you don't know sometimes. And if you have that acceptance and that humility, I'm sure that will go a long way. So what I want to emphasize here is, don't worry about things that might seem very difficult at first. It has happened to me innumerable number of times. I would get into some classes and suddenly you would see, some very hard equations and symbols and things like that. They will all look Greek and Latin. But it's okay. Don't worry about it. You may not know everything at the first shot, but I guarantee you, there are many things that I learned the meanings of some of those things much after I finished even my degree. What is important is not to be scared about some of those things, but have that attitude that it's okay. I will assume that this is correct and go forward. You don't need to necessarily get into this thing about, unless I understand, I will learn these things. It's okay. Many things you will not understand at first instant. Just accept it. But slowly, if you have this other attitude, which is called the attitude of curiosity, you will not be satisfied with just saying that I'm just going to accept what somebody has told me. That curiosity will help you to become better. And over time, even if you think that you didn't have that aptitude, you will realize that you do have that aptitude. It was just latent in you and you had not discovered it. So a little bit of patience and a little bit of perseverance goes a long way. I can say without any shame or fear or anything like that, there are a lot of things that I didn't understand when I did my BE. A lot of things that I understand a little bit better today, and still there are a lot of things that I don't understand. So fear is not one of the things that you should have at all when you're in a learning portal. And this is not true only when you're starting academics. I can also tell you that when you start your work later on, you will be in situations where there are going to be absolutely new things that you have never worked on that you will have to work on. So what is important here is that you have to learn how to learn. That's one of the things that you will realize, because until maybe your formal education, till say your school or high school or even your PUC, many times things would have been told to you and you would have learnt it in a certain way. But when you're in a college atmosphere, the learning has to be slightly more broader. You will probably learn a lot of things by yourself, because everything may not necessarily be taught in class. The professors or the teachers are there primarily to kindle your interest and to inspire you. They may not necessarily speak about every nuance that they know of in class, because they have to deal with a big class. But I can trust you, and this has been my experience, and I'm very sure that is the case in this institution as well, that if you show that interest and you are willing to go and take that extra effort to go and meet your professors beyond class hours and seek out their help, you will learn a lot more. So don't necessarily assume that everything that is taught in class is the only thing that you need to know. There are things that you can learn by yourself. There are things that you can learn from your peers, maybe even from your juniors, maybe from your seniors. So these are some of the things about attitude that I wanted to emphasize, because I believe that even if you are a little bit weak on aptitude, your attitude will go a long way in making up for any deficiencies that you may think that you have in aptitude. I'm still using the word you think that you have in aptitude. I believe that everyone of you have very good aptitude. So that's an important one. Another A that I want to talk about is accountability. Right? You might be thinking, I'm here in engineering, why is accountability such an important thing? Various kinds of accountability that we have. The commissioner was pointing, and earlier the principal was also talking about how important a role your parents have played so far in shaping your life, right? And you, with their blessings, you are entering this higher education portal, and you have to take accountability for what you're going to do here and what you're going to do, not just because your parents sent you, or not just because you have interest, but because very few people have got this opportunity to do this kind of a study. So you have to be accountable to society also. So accountability is a very important thing that you should have. It's something that you should keep thinking about it always. I'll take a very simple example from the life of a programmer as an example. Okay, if you're building a product for something, you actually write code, right? And often, when you get into industry, they will tell you that they will also not just review your code, they will also look for whether you have commented your code appropriately, right? And very often, they will even have your name put in the code. This is the person who wrote this code. This is the time on which this change was made, and other things. That is also, in some ways, I look at it as accountability. It's like saying, this bridge was built by such and such engineer. This road was built by such and such person. You would see that in some of our old temple architectures and things, you would have these kinds of inscriptions. It's not just about giving them credit for what they did. It's also about, I look at it also as, while you can be happy taking that credit, think about it that you're also accountable for this, because if somebody finds a flaw with something there that didn't work according to their expectations, you should have that feeling that, look, this is something that I made, it really didn't work out for someone, right? So I think accountability is a very important thing, and many of you would already have such a diligence in your career. If you have it, please continue to have it, because that's a very important thing even in your professional life going forward. So we talked about autonomy, artificial intelligence, accountability, and other things. Now I'm going to talk about another A, which is actually very important too. And it might sound a bit oxymoronic that I'm talking about this A. And that A is art. A-R-T, just 3 letters, simple. You might be thinking that engineering is far away from art. No. So think about the kind of things that computers are also doing today. There used to be a time when people thought that, you can make computers pretty much do everything, but you can probably never make a computer sing or a computer create a painting and things like that. But is that true? How many of you have seen art generated by computers today? I'm sure some of you would have seen it. I see some hands go up. So yeah, computer generated art. If you see many of the movies that are made in Hollywood or in Bollywood or anything, there's so much of technology that goes behind that art. Okay? So if you actually happen to work in some of those kinds of tools, and I'm fortunate to work in a company, Adobe, which is a company which, we actually make a lot of tools for artists, whether it is Photoshop, which all of you would know about, which is for image editing. We also have things for video editing called Premiere, and we have sound editing. You can name a lot of tools that we have, and there are people who have made their careers being digital artists just in the usage of those tools. It might be someone who is a simple person owning a photography shop there, even he uses Photoshop, to someone who might be doing some of the most sophisticated imagery that you might see in flex banners or in art or cinema or things like that. But thanks to generative AI technologies today, even someone who might not necessarily be having the motor skills to be an artist. So I might be a good, I might have the right thinking to direct what art should look like, but if I don't have the skill to paint, I cannot necessarily generate art. That is the state that used to be until now. But because of generative AI today, you also have the ability to just tell the computer what you want. I want a cat wearing blue goggles and appearing like a rock star on a stage. You just have to describe this in English. If you know how to describe this, the computer will give you 10 choices. Right? And you can say, make this leg a little bit shorter or make this arm a little bit longer. You can do all of those kinds of things. So imagine that artist who used to take a lot of time to create this. Imagine that you were making a logo for somebody, you would make so many designs and give it to somebody and find by the time they approve, you would have gone through so much of work. Many of those things are going to be easier because of generative AI technologies today. And art is also a domain that computers are getting into. And that's also another reason why I think you have to have some interest in some art. If you have not found that to your liking so far, because of whatever reason, I urge you to explore. And this is where I like, what happens in colleges. And this is true for me also. I started learning Carnatic music only when I joined engineering. I used to listen to music every day at home. My mother used to be a teacher. She used to teach, but I never had the inkling to learn formally. But engineering, I started learning Carnatic music formally. And don't think that that it's going to be difficult or something. I'm sure you will have interest in some art or the other. It's just that you have probably not explored it. And because you have so many activities here and so many clubs here, and you're going to meet a lot of new friends, you will find somebody who will inspire you to take up something. And I will tell you, even though that might look like it is not aligned with what you're studying or aligned with what your career goals are and things like that, don't bother about it. Because very often, some of the best discoveries and the greatest inventions that have been created are because people had an inspiration from some other domain. Not necessarily because of only perseverance in one area. So if some of you have heard about this person who has written a lot about innovation, Edward de Bono, he calls it as lateral thinking, right? And sometimes what happens when we pursue disciplines like engineering is that we become very analytical, and we have these blinkers on and we go there. And it is important to have that focus, but we should not be blindsided by that focus. It's important to have focus, like I said even earlier. But once in a while, I think it's okay to just look a little bit beyond those blinkers and see, because you might be able to make a leap which you would not make if you were to just go linearly. That is why this is called lateral thinking. And why this helps is because there is this thing called priming. So one of the techniques that I want to recall here from de Bono is in lateral thinking is, let's say that you're trying to solve a problem, and Problem solving is one of the most important things that we are expected to do as engineers at some point in time of their life, right? So let's say that you want to solve some problem, and when you want to solve the problem, if you're trying to solve the problem alone, you may not necessarily be, you will hit a roadblock at some point in time, and you need fresh inputs. So how do you get fresh inputs? You have to probably brainstorm with somebody else. You have heard about the term called brainstorming, right? So you try to brainstorm with some people. And then there are techniques that people have talked about in brainstorming. And one such technique, I'll just share it with you. So imagine that you've got 5 friends and you want to brainstorm with them about solving some problem. What you do is you randomly pick 2 words from dictionary. Let's say you pick something like, stone and mud or something like that. It has absolutely no relationship with what the problem that you're trying to solve. But before you come to this meeting, you would have been primed to think about that thing. And your mind is always thinking about it, whether you're awake or asleep. If the problem is so interesting and you want to solve it, your mind is still at work doing it. When you get this lateral input, like say stone and mud in this case, what this technique says is you encourage people to form sentences with those 2 words. But because you're primed with your problem, you would also try to use what is going on in your background and see whether, there is some relationship of stone or mud to it. There may be some very vague relationship. Don't bother about it. Eventually you will come to an idea which might actually be something that is a stepping stone for you doing something else. It's just a simple example that I wanted to pick here. So the point I'm trying to say here is that you have to be open again, be curious, accept all kinds of things that might come your way, at least initially. Then you can see whether you have to assimilate it or reject it. But right at the outset, if you don't believe that you should look into it, you might actually miss out on something very important. So if you're bored with a lot of A's, I'll talk a little bit about B. 2 skills that are going to be important. I realize this is not just an institute of technology, it's also an institute of management. So the B word that comes to my mind is business. You have to have some basic knowledge of business, right? Try to understand, try to ask, how is this business going to make money? What are its revenue streams? What is its cost structure? I'm not a trained person in business. I didn't study any management degree, but I trust you. I'll tell you that, you cannot be a programmer for your life. You cannot be a technologist for your life. At some point in time, you have to understand these things. Otherwise, you will not even be able to have a decent conversation with your own colleagues. So you have to understand the business model of things. So with a lot of activity that is going on in Bangalore, you can ask simple questions like, okay, what is this business about? How are they making money? What is their revenue stream? What is their funding? What is their cost structure? When will they become profitable? These are simple questions that you can ask about any business. And you just have some 3 or 4 questions like that. And I will tell you, as you ask these questions repeatedly with people, you will learn a lot about business. And that's the best way to learn. So if I have to talk a little bit about the kind of industries that are there today in the world of software, there are different kinds of models. One is called as a subscription model, where you subscribe to a service, and then every month you pay for that service, and that service is delivered to you. And when you don't want that service, you stop paying it. A good example would be your DTH connection or your mobile phone connection. They're all subscription models, right? Then there is also this transaction model. What is a transaction model? You want to buy something, you pay money, you get it. That's a transaction, you're done with it. There's another very interesting kind of model which actually became very big, especially in the world of software, which is the advertising-based model, right? And the example that many of you would immediately recall is Google. All of us use Google, but do we pay anything to Google? So who is the product here? In a way, we are the product, because Google has this advertising model because they've created such a compelling platform for users, and users strong on their platform, they have the opportunity to advertise there and make money off somebody else. So these kinds of simple concepts that if you understand, right, if you have these concepts, then you can always use this as a framework and ask this question, okay, what is the business model here? Are they going to make money only by this or by combination of this? How are they different from this other company which are doing something similar? Have that curiosity to learn about business also while you're doing things. I talked about art. One thing that art will help you is, it will help you to get a sense of aesthetics and beauty, right? Beauty is a very difficult term to define, right? For some people, beauty means symmetry. For some people, beauty means something like a Gaussian normal curve. For some people, it might be a beautiful equation. Whatever it is, you have to figure out what is that beauty that you are interested in. And I'm telling you, if you start pondering on some of these things, you might find some really interesting things for you to enjoy your journey. But a very important attitude that I want to talk about is a B attitude, which is about being brave. And I use the B word here. But what essentially this is about is, when do you need to be brave? You need to be brave when you think that, there is something risky and, I have to, take some decision, and you have to make a choice there. Often, sometimes we hesitate to make decisions and things like that because we have a fear of failure. But when you're young and when you're still learning, it is okay to fail. It's absolutely okay to fail, because the failures that you might have now are much, not as costly as what it would be. So be brave, try to take risks. I wanted to talk about computing and other things, but many of you are going to learn about computing, so I'll not talk about it. But I'll talk a little bit about collaboration and creativity. This is the time when, you have to learn how to collaborate with people. You will do various kinds of projects. Any project that you do with somebody else, you will have a way by which you think you will want to do something, but your peer will say, let us do it in the other way. And you have to figure out how you can come to some consensus and still go forward with it. Sometimes you will have agreements, sometimes you will have disagreements. You have to learn how to work with all of those things. And that's what good collaboration is about. Because there are very few things that many of us can do alone. So a very essential skill that people are looking for, even when they are looking for you to hire, is they want to see whether you're a team player. They use many words for it, but I would like to call it as collaboration. So that's not necessarily a skill that you might have explored so far, but this is the best time to explore that, because you might possibly be meeting your co-founder right here in this college, right? So think about all of those things, see how you build your collaboration skills, not just collaboration with the human beings, but increasingly we have to learn how to collaborate even with the computer, because computers also are becoming intelligent. Because there are things that you think that you can do, but maybe a computer can do it in a better way, in a faster way. So think about your computer also as a collaborator in many times. So finally, I'll come to the two words that I think are important, and that is design and engineering. So what do we mean by design and what do we mean by engineering? I want to draw a contrast between engineering and science here. So engineering is about making conscious trade-off decisions to realize something of value amidst constraints. You understood what I'm saying? Often you're trying to solve a problem. When you're trying to solve a problem, there are a lot of constraining factors, and you want to optimize on something, okay? So you try to do something in one area, something else might be affected because of that. So that is when you have to make trade-off decisions, and you have to do it consciously. Engineering is about making those decisions. You have to know what are all the things that are going to affect the solution that you're trying to build or propose for the problem that you're trying to solve. And problems are not those simple problems like finding the roots of a quadratic equation or something. That's not a problem anymore. It is a solved problem. You just learned a formula, you're applying it. Here the problems have unknowns. You don't even know all the parameters of the problem. You don't know all the constraints of the problem, right? So engineering is about, many times, trying to just define what is the problem that you want to solve in all its glory and entirety. Once you know all of those things, Then comes the decision making of, okay, I have to, get this kind of an efficiency, or I cannot afford to have this kind of an input, but I want this kind of an output. What is it that I can trade off? And you have to make the right trade-off. And to make those trade-off decisions, you need to know what is the problem that you're solving. And sometimes there might be constraints even from a business angle, right? You might make a solution, but what if that solution that you're targeting is for India, but it probably won't work in India, it might work in some other place. That's of no use, right? So whenever you think about engineering, think about this as conscious decision making amidst constraints and making the right trade-off decisions. I'm probably giving it in a very general flavor here, considering that many of you are coming across disciplines. But regardless of which discipline you are, the problem solving is the same in all of these things, right? So that's why this is an important facet to have in mind. When you get into your classes, your professors will teach you very specific techniques that can be applied in various situations. Sometimes those techniques might work in some situations, sometimes it may not work in some other situations. But that's what you're here for. You're trying to learn all those techniques and all those paradigms that you have to learn. Soak in all of that, right? This is the time for you to amass all that tools that you can have. And once you do that, you become a good engineer. And then design is the process of applying all of these things to create a manifestation that will be the solution that you're seeking for. These days, when people talk about design, they also talk about two things, form and function. When you talk about especially something like user experience design, right? It should look good. You don't want to use an application that doesn't look good, do you? You want to use an application that looks good. But at the same time, if it looks good but doesn't have the functionality that you're seeking for, you will still not use it. So both form and function are important. And if you go deeply into experience design, people will talk about what is more important. Is it form or is it function? Both are important, right? And there again is another trade-off decision that you have to make. So that is why I want to go back to where I started with, that engineering might look like a very narrow discipline that you go in one track, but you have to be an accountant, you have to be an artist, you have to be all kinds of persons to be able to make the right things. And to do all of these things, you need to be aware. And to be aware, you need to have your eyes and ears open. And the more diverse places from which you can acquire knowledge, the better off you will be. I think I have taken a lot of your time. Hopefully, I have been able to give you a glimpse of the kinds of things that you would be doing. This is probably the most exciting, time of your life. So enjoy every bit of your life in the campus, make friends, and like I say, be aware, keep your eyes and ears open, because if you don't do it, an AI will do it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for addressing our students and briefing about autonomy, knowledge acquisition, importance of AI, aptitude and attitude, accountability, what engineering is, and a lot more. Thank you once again, sir. Moving on, may I now request Shri Galaswamy sir, Secretary, Dayananda Sagar Institution, to give away the presidential remarks.
A very good and warm morning to one and all present here. The chief guest of today's inaugural function, G. Kumar Naik IAS, Commissioner BDA, was just left. We are with us Sri Ramesh Srinivasa Raghavan, Principal Project Manager, Adobe Connect. Who has Mr. Ramesh? He has delivered a wonderful address. We are indeed very honored to hear his fantastic speech which inspired the students today. Today, yes, and we have with us the principal of Narayan Sagar Academy of Technology, Dr. Ravi Shankar, the vice principal, Madam Dr. Nandini, the vice principal of the institution, Madam Sumitra Devi, the dean of this College of Technology and Management, distinguished faculty members and heads of departments, and the parents who have accompanied their wards today, and more importantly, the first students of 2023 batch students. Today marks a significant moment in our academic journey as we gather here to celebrate the inauguration of the first batch of autonomous of the first year engineering student. This occasion is a testament to the dedication, hard work and potential that each and every one of possess. As the secretary of this esteemed institution, it is an honor to address you all on this auspicious day. First and foremost, I extend my warmest congratulations to the incoming engineering class. You have embarked on a path that will not only shape your future, but also contribute to the advancement of society and the world at large. Engineering is a field that demands ingenuity, innovation, and a passion for solving complex challenges. Our world is undergoing rapid transformation driven by technology, and engineers play a pivotal role in steering this transformation. Your journey through this engineering program will equip you with the knowledge and skills needed to navigate the complex landscape of the 21st century, from artificial intelligence to sustainable energy solutions. The possibilities are vast and the responsibilities are immense. I encourage each one of you to approach your education with an open mind, a hunger for knowledge and a commitment to ethical conduct. Remember, engineering is not just about equations and formula. It is about making a difference in people's lives. Your work will impact communities, drive economics, and shape the future of generation to come. Embrace the challenges that lie ahead, for they will be your greatest teachers. Seek collaboration and teamwork, for together you can achieve far. More than what any one of you could achieve alone. Embrace diversity in thought and perspective, for it is through tapestry of ideas that the most groundbreaking solutions emerge. As you start this new chapter, I also urge you to never lose sight of the values that brought you into this institution: integrity, empathy, perseverance, and a commitment to serving the humanity. Should be at the core of everything you do. Engineering is a profession with immense potential for positive impact, and it is our duty to ensure that this potential is realized for the greater good. In conclusion, I am confident that each one of you has the potential to have an inedible mark on the world through your engineering journey. Believe in yourself, embrace the learning opportunities, and stay committed to your dreams. The future is yours to shape, and I have no doubt that you will rise to the occasion. Thank you, and once again, congratulations to the inaugural class of first batch of Autonomous Engineering. Journey be rewarding, enlightening, and transformative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time to show our gratitude towards the management, the esteemed guests of today's function, principal, teaching fraternities, students and their parents for the successful completion of this event, Vihan 2023-24. I request Dr. Nandini C., Vice Principal, DSATM, to propose the vote of thanks.
Very good afternoon to one and all. With the curtains rolling down on the celebrations of the first induction program of the autonomous Dayanand Sagar Academy of Technology and Management, the second campus of Dayanand Sagar institutions, I take my privilege to propose vote of thanks. My profound thanks to the management of Dayanand Sagar institutions, Dr. D. Hemachandra Sagar, Chairman, Dr. D. Premachandra Sagar, Vice Chairman and CEO, and the Joint Secretaries, Ms. Tintisha H. Sagar, Mr. Rohan Prem Sagar, Ms. Natasha H. Sagar, Mr. Nishan Sagar, in their absentia. On behalf of the organization, my heartfelt gratitude to the chief guests who are present here, Mr. Kumar Nayak, who has taken his busy schedule and who has enlightened you with the education policies and how the government requires you students, the engineering BAT students, with the latest technology, so as to take care who the new students will be ruling our country for another 35 to 40 years. In his absentia, on behalf of the organization, my heartfelt thanks for his enlightening words to you, the first students of this induction program. The chief guest of today's function, Mr. Ramesh Srinivas Raghavan, who has enlightened us with the ethics and ABCDE, the various morals that has to be imbibed in our career, in the student's career, has been well taken, sir. It was enlightening brainstorming sessions for the first year students who have attended this session. I would like to thank the secretary of Mahatma Gandhi Vidyapita Trust, Dayanand Sagar Institution, Shri Gadi Swami, who has been rightly called the Bhishma Pitamaha of this institution, who has stood as a banyan tree for this institution, who has never said no to any of our requirements and who has been supporting us in all our activities. Thank you, sir, for guiding us in this throughout the journey of this institution. I would like to thank the principal of the institution, Dr. M. Ravi Shankar, who has masterminded over the entire events of this first year induction program, the first induction program of Dayanand Sagar Academy of Technology and Management, who is working hard to scale up the institution with this new reforms in the education academic curriculum to meet up with the global standards and as per the requirement of industry. I heartily thank you, sir, on this occasion. I wholeheartedly thank Dr. Sumitra Devi, Dean Academics, Professor and Head CSE Data Science, who is also the Director of NAC, NBA, Institute Innovation Council, who is beating around the bushes and has added many values to the institution for scaling up the institution to the greater heights. Thank you, ma'am. I wholeheartedly thank the coordinators, the main coordinator of this event, Dr. Nagraj sir, Head of the Department of Mathematics, Dr. Sunil sir, Head of the Department of Chemistry, Nalamuthu sir, Physics Department, and all the heads of the departments of various program, teaching fraternity, non-teaching fraternity, ADP department, each and every one who has made this program a very grand success. Last but not the least, it is you, the dear students, who are the brand ambassador of our institution, who have made this event, along with your parents who have taken their time to be present with us to make this event a grand success. Thank you each one of the first year students of all the programs and the parents and all the senior students of the Anand Sagar Academy of Technology and Management for making this a grand success. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear students, now that we have come to the end of the inauguration program, the student induction program will start from Monday, that is from 25th of October. I request Dr. Shashikala, HOD, CSE IoT, to give you the complete information about the cycles and student induction program.
Good afternoon, everyone, on the dais and off the dais. And with respect to the student induction program schedule, so basically with respect to this schedule, we have a two different cycle. One is P cycle, that is the physics cycle. The other one is the C cycle. So the other one is the chemistry cycle. So with respect to the physics cycle, the students or the branches are computer science and CS in data science, CS computer science and design, CS IoT cybersecurity including blockchain, electrical and electronics engineering, civil engineering and mechanical engineering. These students fall into the physics cycle. Whereas with respect to the chemistry cycle, the students are information science and engineering, electronics and communication engineering, CS computer science in cybersecurity, computer science in artificial intelligence and machine learning. So these students fall into the chemistry cycle. So when it comes to the physics cycle, so this is the schedule what we have. So in this, the 25th of, that is on Monday, it is going to start. So with 10 o'clock is the session starts and it is being first session and the session will be conducted in the auditorium, same place. So we request all the students to assemble at 10 o'clock over here. And the principal sir, Dr. Ravi Shankar, will be delivering about the overview of the institution, what is it, how it is working, the discipline, culture, everything will be discussed from 10 until 11:15, and 11:15 to 11:45 you will have a short break. Then with respect to the second session, we have the placement activities. So Mr. Guru Venkatesh will be addressing you with respect to the placement activities, how the training will be provided, how exactly you have to enhance your skill with respect to the technical knowledge and the other things. And with respect to the art of living, Anurag Gupta will be giving you how exactly you can cope up with respect to your learning and the extracurricular activities, how exactly you can take everything together. So that is the thing. And on Tuesday, you will be having the motivational speech by Sushma Lingaraju, how exactly you need to work, right? So those motivations will be given. And we have the awareness on skill lab and robotics lab by our Vice Principal Madam, Nandini C, Dr. Nandini C. And the facilities available in our institution will be discussed by Dr. K. N. Vishwanath Sir, the HOD of the Civil. That is with respect to the second day. And on the third day, we have the institutional achievement by our Dean Madam, Dr. Sumitra Devi. And we have the Sridhar engineering challenges, thinking and planning to be an entrepreneur. Because nowadays you can see that India says that you need to be a more entrepreneur than with respect to going and working, right? How exactly you can build? Everyone has an idea, everyone has a creativity, how you can improvise it. So that will be given by Dr. Sridhar Ramanathan. And awareness on yoga and meditation by Apurva. So that will be given how exactly you can manage your health also with the studies. And it is not that it requires only in your education, it is required even after the education also. So in the second session, you will be having the science forum activities. So that will be delivered by Dr. Vatsala. She is the in charge of this science forum, how exactly we are conducting the activities, what are the challenges you can give or what we will be giving and how you are going to solve. And we have the awareness about the anti-ragging that will be given by the Rajesh Wilke. So what is a ragging? All of you know. So if there is any ragging, how exactly you have to protest or how to whom you have to contact, all those information will be given. On the fourth day, you have about the awareness about the universal human values. So as the technology is changing, the universal human value becomes very important. So awareness about it is being given. We have the NSS unit in our college. So what are the activities we are doing? So that is given by Professor Madhusudan. Then we have the introduction to our certification course by Dr. Kavita C, head of the Department of Computer Science. What are the global certifications are there? How exactly you can achieve? What is the things? All those things will be given by the madam. Then we have the engineering exploration course, which is a combination of all the engineering thing. How exactly you can explore the other branches, how you can use the other branches in your branch. So those ideas will be given by Dr. Bhagyashree Hanji. So she is a professor in the computer science department. On the final day, we have the awareness about the professional bodies. So various professional bodies we have like IEEE, ACM, we have the CSI, all these professional bodies we have with respect to various departments. So how exactly you can utilize and what are the benefits of it will be addressed. Then what is the library facility we have and how we will be able to take the library facilities will be given by the Dr. Rudresh. And sports activities in our college. So that will be given by the Jamil sir. And we have the student counseling by Maitri madam in the second session. And we have a TAP session with by the doctors over here. So these are all the morning activity what you have. But with respect to the afternoon, we have the awareness about the existing students and clubs. So the respective teachers will guide you where exactly you have to attend and whom to contact. Okay, on the same day they will be giving the information about it. So these are the things with respect to the P cycle. Similarly, we have for the C cycle also, that is for the chemistry cycle also. Okay, so that will be conducted in the seminar hall. Fine. So this is the brief introduction about your induction program, and induction program is mandatory for everyone and you have to attend. You are not supposed to bunk these classes. So this will give you this particular induction program is basically, it will give you an overall nurturing about yourself as well as how you can go about in your 4 years of engineering, and also it is going to give you the culture of our institution. Fine. Thank you all. Thank you.
So it means after this session, you will be directly coming on, you will be directly reporting to the college on Monday exactly at 9:30 a.m. Thank you, ma'am. Dear students, now we are closing the session. I thank each and every one of you for your contribution for the success of this event. I request all of you to rise for the national anthem now. please be seated at their places. Dear students, you may please join for the refreshment which is arranged both for the students and parents in the activity center just adjacent to this building. Yes, you can disperse. This is Dr. Nandini, host of the event, signing off. All the very best and have a good day.